Hello, my name is Zach Ciota. I am the host of the HVAC Shop Talk podcast. I want to talk to you guys today about a service call that I did recently. And unlike the last time that I tried this, I'm going to do this video with the mute off. This video is brought to you by Navac Global, empowering you to work smarter. Navac is an innovator in battery HVAC tools, including the new 2CFM and 4CFM battery vacuum pumps. You have never been more compact and mobile as an HVAC service tech and installer. Save 8% off HVAC testing equipment at TrueTechTools.com by using the Shop Talk promo code. So I went on a service call to an older American Standard heat pump package unit. It was a 2002. A lot of you guys would recognize these. They're rectangular. They had little plastic grills around the condenser. And it's one of the units that I think is less service friendly than a lot of the ones out there just because of the cramped nature of the blower compartment and the controls compartment. And it's hard to reach the compressor. You have to take the grill off. And if you ever had to fix a compressor terminal on one of these machines, which I've done in the past, it'll make you pull your hair out, especially for someone large like me, because I'm trying to wave my big man arms in there to try to get in there to get those terminals, and it is a pain in the butt. I think I employed the brazing mirror just so I could see, so that gives you an idea of what kind of trouble these things can be. But luckily on this occasion we didn't have that issue, although I was able to fix that issue, whereas this one's a little bit different. I arrived to inspect this package unit, and the complaint was it was blowing warm air. That kind of screams capacitor. The capacitor wasn't reading 100%, but it was close enough where it wasn't the capacitor. I looked around and saw water around the rim of the unit. And whenever I see a lot of water around the rim of a unit, I think maybe the unit froze up. Now, it could have been frozen, and there is an explanation here that'll indicate that, but also the drain had no P-trap on it, so it wasn't draining very freely. Whenever I put my hand over it, it's just a little elbow pointing down. When I put my hand over it like this to kind of stop that flow of air back through the drain because there was no trap, a lot of water pooled up and then flowed out all of a sudden. So it could have been overflowing because of the drainage issue as well. The evaporator coil was degraded and it was dirty. I'll put a picture up on the screen. I had to end up cleaning the evaporator coil. I used the Refrigeration Technologies aerosol cleaner, the spray evaporator cleaner, which I like a whole lot. Sprayed that down. You can see kind of the nasty stuff coming off of that. Once I did that, I knew I was going to increase airflow at least a little bit. It has to run for a minute. Whenever you use these cleaners like this that are wash away when the evaporator sweats, you got to give them a minute to run off because they're going to block airflow for a little while until it clears out. So just remember that. Make sure you run it for a while. Now initially, whenever I first gauged up to this unit, and this was actually before I did the evaporator cleaning, I did that when I came back, I had a suction pressure that was in the 40s, a head pressure that was, I don't remember exactly, probably in the 180s. Sorry, I do not recall that. Superheat was high. Subcooling was minimal. I was concerned that the TXV valve was going bad, should I term it, because anytime it's not doing its job, it's gone bad. On a unit like that, if I saw something between 10 and 15 superheat, I would be satisfied. I would tolerate something up to about 20. After that, I would be thinking there's something wrong. And, of note, this TXV is in the supply side airstream. So, you're going to get a little bit of extra subcooling, in my opinion, on that line because it's sitting in the airstream on the supply side. Cold air is blowing across it. And my clamp was right there as well. So I'm not sure how much measurement error took place measuring subcooling, which made me want to do the following test. I didn't want to go quote a valve because I was thinking that perhaps this machine froze up, it was covered in ice for a while running, became oil logged, and the TXV was holding a lot of oil along with the evaporator coil. So I said, if we could run this machine, add some refrigerant to it, perhaps it'll start behaving. So that's what I wanted to do. So I cleaned the coil, and that's exactly what I did. I added 2 pounds of refrigerant to this machine. What I got was a condensing temperature and pressure that was below the target. I also had a suction pressure and superheat that were out of range. The suction pressure was low, superheat was high. It was beyond 20, it was around upper 20s or 30. I think it was around 30. I did get the pressure up. At a maximum, it was in the low 60s, but it fluctuated between the 60 area and down in the mid 50s. So it was hovering between slightly above freezing for R22 and slightly below freezing. We take that pressure. There's a corresponding saturation temperature. That's what I'm referring to as freezing. Around 58 psi, you pass into the freezing range. You might start getting frost in the lines, and slowly but surely that frost will cover the entire evaporator coil through the suction line back to the compressor, and then you might actually see an ice ring on the compressor where you have that cold gas going in there. I tried to also block off the condenser airflow to raise the head pressure, which I did up into the 240s. Unable to clear the oil, unable to get any more out of the TXV than it was already doing. So now I'm pretty much at a point where the next step is either to replace the TXV or replace the unit because of the age, because we are looking at 18 years old, and a TXV replacement on this unit is a significant repair. So that's what I advise the customer. I'm still waiting on an answer. They are holding strong. This unit, even though it is struggling, is evidently oversized as well because it's still holding between 70 and 75 degrees on the inside of the house, which is nice because that means as long as it doesn't freeze and they don't run it down, they really shouldn't be at 70. As long as they keep it a reasonable temperature like 75, keep that saturation on the suction side as high as possible. And that's why I'm saying that, because return air temperature, as far as dry bulb, like you had 75 degrees or 7 degrees on a return air, is going to affect the suction pressure and saturation. So the higher that return air, the higher the suction saturation is. So in a case like this, we have a customer where it's right on the line. Them running it down to 70 might be like taking a regular system down to 65. More danger of freezing. So it's holding strong right now, which is good for the landlord because she has time to make her decision and save up if she wants to. And the tenant is still happy and not suffering because the tenant I went to high school with. That's how I got this job. She called me and said this is going on, so I went to go help her. I went over there at night, got home at 9:30 p.m. just like old times because she has a little baby. And I know this baby. This is not some random baby. These are friends of mine that go back way, way far back. She actually married my best friend way, way long ago in a different lifetime. So that's what prompted me to head out there and do that call, which I know a lot of you guys feel the same way. You get that special call from those people that are like family to you. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, you're going out to help them. So I did my best. There's still more to do. What do you guys think about what I chose to do? Put it in the comments down there. Did I do the right thing? Would you just have quoted the valve and moved on? Would you say, the hell with this thing? It's 20 years old. Let's just get a new unit. How would you treat this situation? I want to know. New guys that are watching the video, go check out the comments. There's a lot of really smart guys that I know down in the comments. If one of them is really just putting out a great answer, I'll pin it to the top so you know it's legit. And I hope you can learn from that and question them. Ask them why they think what they think. Because not every guy out there that has experience is going to give you the right answer. So probe it a little bit. Use your BS meter. Find out if you think it's good or not. My name is Zach Ciota. I am the host of the HVAC Shop Talk podcast. Please check it out if you haven't. Any podcast app will do. We just released a great episode with Eric Kaiser talking about refrigerant recovery. Went into depth on a lot of subjects. It was a great podcast. It's a long one. We cover a lot of stuff. So if you want to brush up on recovery, or if you're new, you want to learn all about it, it's a great place to start. Thank you guys. Work safe out there. Stay clean as best you can. Don't get the corona, and I'll see you on the next one.